What's happening, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to Junkdrummer TV, where I give my analysis, my initial reactions, and my hot takes on the drummers of today and yesterday, and maybe tomorrow, if I stick around that long. I am a professional drum teacher and a gigging musician, and I have been for the last 20 years. This is my 20th episode of my analysis reaction videos, and on today's episode, we are going to go back to the beginning and do Neil Peart's drum solo, The Rhythm Method, from the 1997 Test for Echo tour. So before I continue, and so I don't have to deal with 100 commenters like the first time telling me that I'm pronouncing his name wrong, let me remedy that now. Take it away, Getty!
Ear with a P in front of it and a T at the end. Peart.
Thanks, Getty! As I said before, I have already done a Neil Peart video. That was my very first one. It was him doing Tom Sawyer. When I did that video, it was strategic as well because I wanted my first video to kind of blow up, and it kind of has. I've got like 100,000 views on that. But when I did that video, I knew that I would be dealing with Rush fanatics, and I knew that I was going to get a lot of shit for one of the things I said in that first video. I said in that video I had the audacity to say that I, in my opinion, did not think that Neil Peart is the greatest drummer of all time. What I did say was I think that Neil Peart is the greatest composer of drums. And please go back and check out that video because I'm very proud of it. You also see hopefully how much better I've gotten at it now. By me saying that Neil Peart is not the greatest drummer of all time got me buried in the comments section. I got a lot of positive feedback as well, but man, there were a lot of men who have not known a woman biblically in this millennium who were pissed off at me because I did not say that Neil Peart is the greatest drummer to ever pick up drumsticks and sit behind a drum set. Fellas, it's just some dude on YouTube. Don't take it so personally. But before I go on to today's video, I have prepared a statement that I hope will exonerate me from all of your vicious hate. Neil Peart is the greatest human being to have ever drawn breath. All other humans that you may deem great pale in comparison. If only we could place Mr. Peart in the position of president, prime minister, or dictator of every country in this world, all of our problems would be solved the very next day. World peace would reign for a millennium. I also have a theory that if we could find a concentrated way to aim audio of his drum solos directly at tumors, we could successfully cure cancer. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into Neil Peart's drum solo, The Rhythm Method, which is a naughty name, Neil, from the 1997 tour for Test for Echo. I picked this one because I actually saw this tour. I know a lot of people in the comments section have been asking me to do drum solos. I'm going to get to them eventually, but the first drum solo video that I have to do is Neil because, again, Neil, when he takes a drum solo, it's not like, let's be honest, a lot of, live concert rock drum soloing is a whole lot of just like over the top chop crazy, madness. And it tends to not be very musical, and it tends to just be drum Olympian, hey crowd that's not drummers, look at me playing super, super, super fast. And that's cool, especially if you're a drummer, you can understand those things. But the thing about Neil's drum solos, they are mini compositions. And you'll hear me say that word a lot. So I'm going to shut up now and let's get into the Neil Peart drum solo. So obviously this was during and after his drum lessons with Freddie Gruber. I talk about that in the first video. He changed to traditional grip during that time. This solo is starting out with a lot of like what it kind of feels like his version of Buddy Rich. Those big band drummers that would just play all those crazy chop. Right there. And I know I was talking through a lot of that. Please go back and watch this without my nonsense. Link in description, of course. But right at the beginning of this solo is him playing very snare drum based, and then he interspersed it with this snare ride thing, and he came back to it, did it twice, and it became a theme. He's now building his composition. keeping that bass drum constant. Very common trick for drum solos. So right here he is doing another very musical way to approach a drum solo. He started out with kind of like the A section, and the A section was just a lot of, snare drum madness, with that little theme in the middle of it. Comes out of that. Now we're into a waltz, and what he's doing there is an ostinato on his bass and hi-hat. He's going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and now he's going to solo over that. So there's another theme that he's brought to his drum solo. He's going to solo over top of that. Side note, playing ostinatos on your feet are a great way to work on your independence. One of the more advanced things that I show some of my students is I will have them, I don't have a hi-hat set up here, but I'll have them play the samba pattern, and over top of that play paradiddles while you're playing that samba pattern. That's just a little side lesson for you. Check that out. Try to do that. It's a good way to develop your independence. And Neil's showing some of his independence right here in this section. This is the tom part. By the A section, it's the snare drum. It's not the hi-hat. He's playing a tambourine. Sped up a little bit right there. I'm sorry, Rush jihadists. I know. I'm sorry. There's your theme. He's playing hooks. Bet you he comes back to it. Yeah, man. Be able to play a lot of this stuff over that non-stop. Ostinato is really hard. Yeah, man, I want to go back there just a little bit. I can't go back a lot in this video because it's a long drum solo. But the way that he's orchestrating his tom snare drum combinations, he's making these little melodies. It's such a smart way to play drum solos. Yeah, man, those phrases right there. Playing sixes, going into 16s. There's that theme again. Always musical. So it's like we've played an A, then a B section. Now he's going to go back to the A section. This A section is going to be probably a little bit different than the A. Big, clean double strokes. Tell he was really listening to a lot of jazz music at this time. Back to that quarter note on the bass drum. It's a good way to keep the crowd with you. Sometimes, especially in a big rock setting, try to play too abstract like a jazz player, you'll lose the crowd. I think that's pieces of 8, I think. I'm almost for certain that's pieces of 8, what they call that little keyboard thing. It's a mallet cat, I guess that's what they still call it. Man, when I was in college, man, we would sit around the music department, the percussion room, and we'd all see who could play pieces of 8 faster. But again, he's bringing melody into a solo, not just with toms. This is a common theme that he uses there. That hi-hat to snare drum. That's just such an easy lick to play. That right there in between the hi-hat. You're just taking that common accent pattern we all know and going in between your snare drum to your hi-hat and opening that hi-hat. So it's now we're almost like in a transition of the solo. There's that same ticketa theme. okay to be a little humorous. Cowbells played like that, it's always humorous. Yeah, he just played that lick again, but on the toms this time. Always musical. Now he's playing the Bonham lick, the rolling sextuplets. You know, now this kind of sounds like when Bonham would do it in his solos. We know that he's a Led Zeppelin fan. Using some triggers. You know, he was kind of, you know, he was at the forefront of using electronic drums, and not just electronic drums, but also using triggers that would just give him these, you know, like you know, explosive little sounds. He was the first one that was kind of known for it. I know Bill Bruford used them a lot, and I know that Chad Wackerman, when he was with Frank Zappa for the first time, had electronics, but you know, Neil's really known for it. Oh, here we go. The crowd loves it, so the whole drum set's going to spin, and now he's going to play the electronic section of his drum set. So with him playing all of that, you know, jazz age video back there, this almost kind of sounds like I was going to make a comment about that crowd, but I'm just in no mood for getting destroyed by the comments. Bonham, no. Sorry, it's my dog again. But this part is almost like him playing like a straight version of Sing Sing Sing. You know, it kind of matches the imagery that's going on back there. Rush is always great about their videos that you know, giving you that all-around experience live. You know, this is just a drum song. And it's just, you know, when you get that chance to, in your concert or in your show, and like, the spotlight's on me, and it's so easy to just be like, crowd, watch this, blah, and just play all the craziest stuff that you've practiced and woodshedded in the drum room. But Neil's drum solos are not like that in the least. They are miniature compositions, and they're just so much more fun to listen to than like 90% of drum solos out there. That's just me. My favorite drum soloists are cats like Billy Martin from Medeski Martin & Wood, Dave King from the Bad Plus, Glenn Koch or Kochi from Wilco, the ones that kind of play a little bit more of an abstract style. But man, Neil is the drum solo aficionado. You know, and he's blown a bunch of chops through here, but he's still working to make a song. You can hum this. You know, sounds like he's got some like conga samples going on with his electronic kit. You know, we're on like to the D section of this solo. You could break this down theoretically. Massive reverb on them electronics. The crowd always likes it when the drum set spins. There's one of those triggers. So now it's almost like he's mimicking the thing that he just played, now playing on a real drum set. I think he's contractually obligated to play that electronic drum set during a solo. This was something that was very common at this point, was a lot of that crossover stuff that he did right there. Let's talk about that thing that's on his elbow right there. I can relate. That is definitely a brace to help him with tendonitis. I'm just now getting tendonitis getting over tendonitis in my right elbow. I've had it for almost a year, and it makes drumming miserable. It's just kind of a thing that happens when you, do repetitive motions over and over and over. I'm also a woodworker, so that didn't help either. But yeah, that's definitely what that is, man. It's just a thing that happens as we get older. Sucks. I know Carter Beaufort talked about having tendonitis for a long time too. Man, that's drum soloing that I can listen to all the time. Again, like I said, I know I've been asked a lot about doing drum solo videos, and down the road I might. But, man, a lot of times those drum solos are just things that only really other drummers can appreciate. On my channel, I'm trying to deal with how I can use famous drummers as educational asides and jumping off points to let drummers see how things they can do to make songs better, because we're into gigging around here and we want to be able to make the songs better, and that's how you get the gig. But anyway, man, Neil Peart playing the rhythm section, the rhythm method, from 1997 on the Test for Echo tour. I went and saw this. Man, I may have shed a tear during that drum solo. Of course, I don't remember it. It's been, oh God, 22 years ago. Man, I'm getting old. So there you go, Rush jihadists and Rush fanatics and just Rush fans. Neil Peart, of Rush. We didn't see Geddy and Alex today, but hopefully for you out there that do take solos in your shows, who are interested in soloing, the next time you sit down or next time the band shuts up and lets you play a little bit, resist the urge to go into every crazy cool chop that you know and start trying to play a little bit more melodically, more thematically, bring back sections, set up sections in A, B, C, and D, kind of like he did. You will find that it is a very interesting way to perform solos, and you will become more musical by doing that. So, if you enjoyed that and you would like to see more of it, please give me a double tap on the subscription and the notification bell. Please feel free to like, comment, and share. And remember, keep practicing until it's easy.
Ear with a P in front of it and a T at the end. Peart.